Hello friends! We have already covered two parts on interoceptive challenges in autistic children. I will leave the link here for both the videos, but just to brief you out, interoception simply means when the body has to be aware of its needs, specifically talking about basic needs of the child and their emotions. So if the child is not able to manage them or express them, usually that is the time when challenges can happen, dysregulation can happen, and the child can even go into a state of meltdown. Technique number one for which you can improve interoception in a child is use of a simple mirror for self-awareness. Mirror helps the child to identify. So you can say, "This is me," by pointing the child's hand towards themselves by saying, "This is me." And then you can be specific about the body parts also. Here we eat. Now we can see. Now we can hear. Now we can smell. Now we can talk. Now we can eat. Oh, here is our food. So what happens when you indicate towards every body part along with their function? It helps the child to understand themselves better. The second technique is accommodating towards the basic needs of the child: hunger, thirst, toileting. So you try to schedule them regularly. You can even use timers for them. For example, for toilet training initially, you perform a scheduling action where whenever the timer goes, the child and you identify it, attend to it, and then you both go to the bathroom so that you can help the child in taking care of the toileting needs. Once this routine is established, then you can start to wean off the timer to see, is the child aware themselves that after maybe 2 hours or so they really need to go to the toilet. Third technique is called as creating sensory awareness in the child. So sensory awareness does not simply mean doing sensory integration activities. Sensory awareness involves much more than that, attending to specific interoceptive stimuli. So for example, temperature sense of the child. You might say, isn't it part of the touch sensation? But yes, the body also feels hot or cold sometimes based on the weather around them. So for example, training the child for, okay, is the water hot or is the water cold? Oh, this is cold water, we can't touch it. Or maybe touching a glass of hot water. Oh, it's too hot, we can't touch it. So the child understands the concept. Like from the hot one, they will find steam coming up. But from the cold one, they'll feel there are water droplets outside. So let them observe how these changes happen. Or maybe asking them to watch how ice melts. Use of stretching exercises is also an excellent way of creating sensory awareness. So if you provide stretches to the child or add weights to the child, that also helps in creating sensory awareness. So for example, you tie weight on one hand and don't tie it on the other. Let's try to raise the hands. Oh, this one feels heavy. And then you suddenly drop that weight and the child can lift both their arms in the air. So in this way, they understand the concept of heavy and light. The third way of increasing this sensory awareness could be when the child is allowed to touch different objects. If the child allows it, you can also close their eyes for a second. So for example, you put some things in the water and then the child tries to find them like some blocks. And whenever they have found a block, they pick it up and then you open their eyes. Very good, you found the orange color. And then they find the blue color. So like this, they are more aware of their sensations, that even without vision, they can use their other senses. They are heightened and the awareness increases. We can simply call them as mindful check-ins. The second technique that we can use for this sensory awareness purpose is body scans. So it is a more advanced technique to be used by adults, but for kids we can simplify the body scans, in which the child is simply sitting on a mat, on the bed, on a chair, and sitting in a relaxed state. And at that time, you try to touch them on different parts of the body. I'm touching your head. I am touching your cheek. I am touching your chin. This is your neck. This is your shoulder. This is your hand. So what happens before moving on to the next body part? Let the child process what you have done. And sometimes you don't touch the hand exactly, but try to use different kind of textures with them. For example, you have a foam piece with you. So sometimes you're touching the foam piece on their cheek. Or you take a rough towel and try to touch them on one of the cheeks or on their hand so that they can feel it on their skin. Yes, the touch was different this time. So they will try to look at what you touch them with. And if you feel your child is what you call as on the go, they never settle down, they're always moving around. In that case, directing them towards different kind of sensory activities. For example, before and after a meal, let them have their time to wash their hands because it provides a very good sensation. Even let them make their forearms wet so that they feel a good sensory experience. Similarly, while taking a bath, give them time to pour water or stand under a shower so that they can enjoy that feeling. And if you feel the child does not want to come out after that, again, timers are an excellent way. Whenever they hear them go off, they have to come out. So they understand this is my signal that I have to stop doing that and I will get to do it again. But what if your child has a meltdown or starts crying that they don't want to leave it? In that case, you direct the child towards, okay, let's take one more minute, then we will switch off the shower. So, and you start counting 1, 2, 3, and the moment the counting stops, okay, now let's close down the shower or let's stop pouring water on ourselves. The water is finished, and then the child can move out. After that, you can pat them dry, let them use the towel, let them use the surface of the towel on their skin so that they can have a good sensory experience. Understanding of interoception is really important. It is half of the time that it is the reason why a child faces more sensory challenges, faces more emotional dysregulation. And if these are attended to, we identify the interoceptive basic needs of the child or how they are feeling in a certain temperature. Maybe we are feeling cold, but the child is not feeling that cold. And if you try to cover them up with jackets, they don't want them. So forcing it on them is a key that they are going to go into dysregulation. Try to avoid that. Give the child choice to identify what they want, what is the need of their body, and attend to them, because you need to understand the concept of neurodiversity. The way we need rest or the way we feel cold or hot may not be the same for them. I hope this was an informative video for you. If yes, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos related to child development and autism awareness. Ring the bell icon for notifications and add any queries or suggestions in the comments below. We'll meet again soon. Bye.